Teensy Vintage. This is Teresa. It is Friday. In fact, I just finished watching the opening ceremonies of the Olympics in France. Man, Paris, you are amazing. You did the most fabulous opening ceremony I've ever seen. If you haven't seen it, y'all, go check it out. I'm sure it's recorded and streaming somewhere. Anywho, today we are working in my large dilutions journal with some Lindy Stamp Gang, or Lindy Starburst sprays, rather. Sorry. This is Tainted Love Teal. It is a beautiful, deep teal with a lot of shiny mica in it. You can kind of see some of the reflection there as I'm drawing this page. I love this spray so much. So I'm just starting out with a big blob of blue. It does get better, I promise. Today is going to be a lot of blue. I'm also doing a lot of adjusting with my camera. Apologies. All right, so now I've got another blue. This is a Dilutions paint called Balmy Night. This is a kind of a deep gray blue. The Dilutions paints are very thin. And if you add some water to them, you can get some nice watercolor-like texture. And so that's what I'm doing. Just going around the page, and I'm going to cover all of the negative space here with this Balmy Night color. And I'm just using a big flat brush and going around the edges here. I know it kind of looks a little funky, but it'll get fixed, I promise. So for now, I really just want to cover up all the white, fill in all the space with this beautiful Balmy Night, and get my page covered. So some will be a little darker, some a little lighter, but it will all have a beautiful watercolor look. Just adding more coverage here. And yeah, you can still see all the brush marks, but that's okay. That's okay. Also, you know, add a little paint at a time, because if you put out a big bunch of paint on your palette and then you don't end up using it all, well, you can't really put that paint back in the jar. So a little goes a long way, and if you need more, great. Put a little more out there. Okay. So now I have a shiny blob inside of some kind of a gray, midnight bluey color. It doesn't look the same on the video as it does in reality or the photos, but it's okay. You get the idea. All right, so this is a new stencil for me. This is from, oh gosh, Carta Bella. It's called At Home. It's called Simple Things. I really just liked it because it was a lot of little hash marks and squiggly dots, and it just kind of looked cool. And I am using a cosmetic wedge and our favorite Payne's Gray acrylic paint to add some marks to this page. I'm just going around adding some spots here and there. All right, just kind of helping the eye know where to go. I love making backgrounds. Okay, so we're going to put the clip back on. The page was curling pretty bad. Now I've gotten out some white gesso, and I'm putting a little bit here on my workstation just to start using that. Now, I'm using the exact same sponge that had the Payne's Gray on it. In fact, the Payne's Gray is still wet, so when I mix it with the gesso, I get a nice dreamy gray color. And I am just going around kind of adding this matte texture to the shiny texture. And I'm just, you know, going around. It looks like a little bit of clouds almost. And then I'm going to use some of the gesso through the same stencil that I used earlier. So now we have a white version of the Payne's Gray version here on the page. And I think it turned out pretty cool. Now I'm taking a tiny bit of gold acrylic paint. I've added some water to it because I'm going to spatter it on the page here. And I remember at the last second I've got to cover up the other side so I don't get paint all over that. But yeah, just adding some gold. And then I'm going in with the paintbrush again just to add a little gold shimmer here and there. Just wherever it feels right. So now I have gold spatters and a little bit of shimmery gold space here and there. And there goes my page again. It's like, you put all this stuff on me, I'm going to curl. I want to make sure everything is really dry because today we're going to be working with some stickers. I got a free set of stickers from from scrapbook.com when I put in an order a while back. Every once in a while they'll give out freebies with your order, and this was one of them. And I was like, oh, I can actually use this. These are thickers from Dear Lizzy. It's called Desktop. Looks like number 146. And they are Puffy letters stickers. They're great. I really love this font. I don't know why it's called Desktop, but whatever works. All right, there's me tapping, thinking. I'm like, how am I going to keep things on the straight and narrow? So I cut out a strip of paper and use that as a guide on the left side of my page. This way I know exactly where to start all of my words, so they will all line up perfectly. I'm also going to use a clear ruler to keep my horizontal lines in the same, level format as well. Basically, I'm not measuring, I'm eyeballing all of this, but I'm using these two things as guides to keep me from having a wonky or a wobbly set of words. Because each word is going to get on its own line, and I want them all to be relatively even and straight. So, yeah. So I'm just kind of eyeballing it, putting it where it looks right, and the strip of paper on the left is going to keep everything organized on that margin, and then the ruler is going to keep everything nice and straight on the horizontal. And as you probably saw in the opening moments of the video, it says I've waited hours for this, which is from a Cure song. The Cure was on, and I don't know, this song lyric got stuck in my head. So here's what you do. You make some art and you throw that lyric in there. And then you don't sing it anymore, which is great. I've moved on to some other wacky song. But yeah, these letters were great. Had enough of all the letters I needed. And now I can just remove that strip on the left, and voila, everything is perfectly straight. It looks great. So now to make it look cool, well, first I'm going to mash everything down just to make sure that the adhesive really takes. But now I'm using my Stabilo All pencil to outline these letters. And what that's going to do is kind of help them stick out a little more. I know it's like they're already gold, Teresa. You can see them just fine. Well, this kind of gives them a little bit of a 3D effect. It's super easy to do. I'm just using the pencil here to go around the right side or the right edge of things. And then once I've finished that, I'm going to get out a tiny paintbrush and bring back my jar of water and activate the pencil. And if you've used a Stabilo pencil, you will know that they turn into beautiful watercolor when you add a little water to them. So they kind of get a nice dreamy look, very soft. You'll see me wiping the paintbrush. I'm not wiping the brush. I'm dipping the brush in the water, and then I'm wiping off the part of the brush under the bristles. And this is so I don't get any drops of water coming down onto the bristle and then globbing onto the Stabilo pencil. This is a good thing to practice if you haven't done it before. Just get a piece of paper, write something in the Stabilo all pencil, and then just use your small paintbrush to go over it and activate the pencil with the water. But yeah, there we are. That was it. Pretty quick. I really had a good time making this piece. I love the shimmery parts of this journal page, and I am so glad y'all were here with me. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.